communities. If you're in a Prius community and everybody switches from a Prius that you actually use as fuel to get going and self-charges, and you now are plugging in electric vehicles, can the infrastructure hold it? Or in these narrow Prius communities, in California, by the way, Berkeley's one of those communities, and Palo Alto, two relatively local communities. There are also areas where the homes are very old and the infrastructure is also very ancient. And the question is, now we're going to add on all of this charging capacity through an already overtaxed grid. How are you going to manage that interface? What are you going to do with that data? Ideally, that electric vehicle charging stations should be working in cooperation with your information about your smart grid more broadly. Home area networks, just explosion of devices there. And when we think about customer engagement, imagine if we can do customer engagement, we can talk to the home, we can talk to all the appliances. Again, I don't think that data is going to flow through the meters. That data is going to come across through a network and get into your system. But how you interface with all these systems is going to be very, very critically important. We're hearing about the droughts down in Texas. Imagine a drought in the Pacific Northwest, where most of the power generated is hydro. What do? You're going to have to curtail. And by the way, going back to the nuclear situation in Japan, they're feeling it as it's coming up here. Since smart grid's not too advanced there at this stage, they're really feeling the effects of this. Is how do they communicate with those customers? They haven't been training their customers to think about power. Nobody ever thought about it. It just came out of your checkbook. You just paid for it. You had no idea what you're consuming. You had no controls on it at all. You couldn't actually tell whether it was efficiently used or inefficiently used. And I know locally when they tell us to curtail because we're having rolling blackouts and such, I'm looking at it going, okay, well, I'll flip off the lights a little sooner. I have no idea whether I'm curtailing 15%, 5%, or 80%. Am I doing my part? I can't even tell. Am I doing my part relative to global warming and reduced energy consumption, given a lot of it's still coal generated? I don't know. You have to have that data. You have to have that information. So critical things are happening in the world that are really going to drive the need for these analytics, drive the need for applications, drive the need to take all this metering data and make it into information. That's my presentation for today. Aaron's going to come up in shortly here and give you further detail about the product roadmap. He's going to give you a better visibility. He's actually going to demo some of these technologies. I started out talking a lot about what was happening in the headlines. I kind of finished on headlines. I also, through the course of the discussion, talked a lot about customer success. And I really like the idea that your customers, through consumer engagement, are moving from ratepayers to actually customers. The idea that they're actually involved in the process, they're not just paying for it. So I thought a good way to wrap up would be for you to hear directly from one of our customers. This is Mark Rose with Bluebonnet. I had the opportunity to meet Mark down in rural Texas. I just remember driving for a long time. It's somewhere outside of Austin. And Mark is a real fanatic around customer engagement, and I think you'll enjoy hearing from him. Again, my thanks for all of you for traveling to California, joining us. Take advantage of the networking opportunity. Take advantage of the technical sessions. You're going to see a lot of eMeter people around the show, given that it's a little bit more local than it was last year. The eMeter team is very excited to have all of you here, and they're very excited about the opportunity to engage with you. So please take advantage of it. Enjoy the conference, and my thanks again for helping make eMeter successful and allowing us to help drive your success.